Okay, so we're hiding out my room today because there's better lighting when it's at night. I'm not working my normal shift, which is usually 2 to 10. I've got training, which is letting me work from about 8 to 5. That works, it's cool. I'm learning lots of new things. Um, but inevitably, whenever I meet a new coworker, or a new coworker meets me, I should say, they always ask what I do to help keep work at work and home at home, because those are two lives that really don't need to bleed together. And I mentioned that I have a cat that I use for therapy. Not a legal therapy beast, but she fulfills the job. And then they ask a few more questions, and I mentioned that her name is Helen and that she was born blind, just doesn't have any eyes to begin with. And everyone's like, oh, either I'm weird for picking a cat that can't see, or I'm helping this poor, helpless creature. When neither's the case once you meet this cat. So, if I manage to wrangle her correctly and she wants to cooperate, I've got a notebook that she's happily sitting on. She always sits on my notebook. I'll introduce you to my cat, Helen. Which, it's not my cat, but it's my cat. Megan and I have two cats, but Helen leaned towards me, and Lilith is more of Megan's cat. But so, let me introduce you. You'll see what I mean. Oh, yes, I know, honey. This is Helen. She just has little eye holes where eyes should be, and she doesn't know she's missing anything, so these are just extra nostrils, basically. Um, if you ever notice when you cry a lot, your nose gets runny, that's because the tear ducts are connected to your sinuses. So, um, she gets eye goobers, but she doesn't know that she's blind. She doesn't know there's a sense that she's missing, but she knows she's a cat, and she's really good at being a cat. This wasn't we didn't pick her up as a charity case, or because there's something weird about having a blind cat. We got her because we fell in love with her. She had a lot of personality, and she knows how to get everywhere. There's nothing she really can't do, and I love her for that. She can sense my bad days long before I talk about them to Megan, um, which is the good thing about cats. You know, everyone loves dogs, and don't get me wrong, I grew up with dogs. I have nothing against dogs, but you never heard of a cat fighting circle. Just saying, there are no illegal cat fighting rings. So people wonder, why would you even want cats as a pet? We know and openly acknowledge that they're punks. They're just they do whatever they want, and we're just the house staff that provides them everything they could ever possibly want. Like Helen won't drink out of metal bowls. She was happy to eat out of them, but she was always getting dehydrated and um, always begging to get on the sink because it was a different texture of bowl, and that made the water better somehow. She's also always sitting on my notebook when I'm trying to write, or sitting on my tablet. Gratefully, she's not doing so when I'm on a video, but she's done it in the past, little monster. So how can people still love cats when we openly admit that they're jerks? I think it's because they have a greater emotional capacity. Think of it like a set of crayons. Dogs, they're happy with the 16 pack. They can hit all the colors because that's all they need to express. They're always happy. You could tell them they're going for a car ride and they don't care if it's going off a cliff. They're getting a car ride. Cats, they have to be asleep before you can get them in the car. They have to be asleep before you can take their temperature. They have to be drugged out before you can do anything to them. But they're the animals that are rocking the 64 pack of crayons. They can understand more and express more. Dogs have a vocal range of 8 to 12 sounds. Cats can do way more than that, and the internet's full of it. Especially kittens. You can just see the overabundance of curiosity with kittens, which again, I think that's the purpose of the internet. But, I love my blind cat. She's wonderful, and I plan on having more. you know? Because in the United States, at least, for humane societies, there's a certain protocol that says you can't euthanize a stray until after 72 hours. Unless they have they're FIV positive, feline, feline leukemia, or they're blind. If they fit any of those conditions, you can euthanize right away because that makes them unadoptable. And that's sad because you watch Helen interact and you forget she doesn't have eyes. Sure, she'll occasionally bump into something, but never hard enough to cause injury. But she can get on the bed by herself. She can climb up on windowsills herself. She can. There's nothing she can't do except laser pointers. Despite my best efforts, I still can't get her to play with a laser pointer. Unless it's the rattling sound, and then it's more the chain with it. But I wish that would change. You know, feline leukemia or feline immunodeficiency virus, that makes a lot of credible sense. It's a lot of specialized treatment, a lot of specialized care, and a lot of specialized medication. But blindness? That makes a cat unadoptable? Sure glad we don't treat humans that way. But, so, since we've gotten Helen, I've been making regular donations to the Blind Cat Sanctuary in North Carolina, where they're taking care of hundreds of blind cats, hundreds of feline leukemia cats, and hundreds of FIV positive cats, because they don't need to be destroyed, euthanized, or whatever quaint, loving, distant vocabulary we decide to give it. We're killing them. Okay? Euthanized, whatever you want to call it, we're killing them. Sometimes that's necessary, but for the most part, especially in the case of blindness, it doesn't need to be necessary. So I'm actually going to post a link in the bottom of the video, so if you feel inspired, check out their cats. They know it's a forever foster kind of situation because they hardly ever get adopted, but they're just cats. I mean, we're so excited when blind people can do things, or blind dogs hit Facebook because they can do things. Check them out. If I had the opportunity, if I was looking for another cat, I'd make North Carolina a vacation. Which possibly does make me sound crazy. I'll accept that. But it's a topic I'm passionate about. Both our cats started off as strays. Lilith was 4 weeks living on the streets, and Helen was a stray for over a year. And if that's not the sign of a fighter, a blind cat surviving a year on its own, I don't know what does. But give it a shot. It's worth it. If your animal shelter has any special cases, ask about them. See what it would take, because you may just find your best friend there. And Helen certainly has been that for me. There are certain days I can't tell Megan about at work, but just knowing that there's still that therapy of a cat purring and letting me give it affection, that makes everything a lot easier to deal with. So kind of a short video today, but that's what I wanted to share. That's why I have cats. That's why I donate regularly to the Blind Cat Sanctuary. Alright, so I'll try and make another video tomorrow. It just really depends on how much energy I have, because I've got training and then an appointment afterwards with a buddy of mine. We're going to swap garden stories and stuff we've been making stories. And it'll be cool. But afterwards, I'm going to try and get a video up. Alright, have a great day.